Hello, gorgeous. Hello, hello, hello. We are here. We're talking to our director of sales, Sheyaam Moos. It is going to be a fantastic conversation all about creating confident communication using our patented formula of behavioral personality marketing. I know you're going to love this conversation. It is so incredibly fascinating. Your personal life will change, your business, your language, the way you make your videos, the way you show up. And I want you to come say hello. Join us in this conversation. Come say hello. Tell us where you're checking in from. Let me introduce myself. My name is Fatima Omar, and I am the creative founder of Million Stars Academy, where we equip and empower women with the templates, the guides, the mindset training, and everything she needs to create an audacious coaching business. So, hello everyone, and let's welcome our star today, Sheyaam Moos. Say hello and welcome.
Hello, everybody. It's so awesome to be here. I love doing these conversations, and I really want to thank you for the opportunity to have this conversation with you as well, Fatima.
I'm so glad you're here. I'm so glad. This is so exciting.
Yeah.
And today we're going to just dive right in and talk about the behavioral personality marketing. This is something where you can use to actually understand the behavior of your clients, the behavior of your children, the behavior of your spouse, the behavior of your prospects, and why is it that your prospects are not turning into paying clients, and how you can use this in your video creation. So I want to really start out and really talk about you on your personal experience, Sheyaam. You did the assessment for the
Yeah.
first time last year, and then you redid your assessment a couple of weeks ago. Tell us, in your own words. Well, first tell us, what is your principal archetype and what is your dominant archetype?
So my principal archetype is the hero, and the dominant is innocent. It was sage last year, but it beat it out by 1 point.
Amazing,
Yeah.
amazing. Why do you think it changed?
Because I evolved, I transformed throughout this whole year. I'm surprised it didn't change a lot more, and I'm glad that it didn't, because that means I'm still within my own integrity. I'm still aligned, so that's good.
Yeah, why is being aligned so important to you? Tell me more about that.
Because it shows that, to me, it means that I am growing in the right direction. I'm not losing myself throughout this whole process. I'm actually building up on that and staying true to my values.
Yeah.
So I
And
love
and
that.
why did the assessment help you so much? So let's talk about life before
Yeah.
and life after. Like, tell me about the changes that have happened, and why is it now you can actually sit there with your confidence? We call this creating confident
Yeah.
communication. Why is it that after this assessment and the understanding of your own behavioral personality, why you do the things that you do, and why did that change? Why is that you saying, I can be in my authenticity, I can be
Yeah.
in my own integrity?
Yeah. Well, Fatima, being in my background is in corporate, and I was in toxic corporate, environments for over 25 years. And that does a lot to a person. It started making me doubt who I really was. And a lot of times I wasn't even sure if I was making decisions on who I was or who other people wanted from me. And so that was my biggest, I would say aha moment when doing the assessment was like, was I true, or did I totally throw myself away, my own integrity, my authenticity? Was that thrown away with the 25 years being inside of this toxic work environment? So that made a huge difference when I did the assessment and I went through the results. It really made a huge
Wow.
difference for me.
Yeah, you say something really interesting. It's like, is this really me, or is this someone telling me
Yeah.
who I should be, how I should be?
Yeah.
And it's so interesting because I talk to women all the time, and it doesn't matter whether they're beginning their business or they're just, they've been trying to do that business for a while now, and they cannot seem to break through that next level, right?
Yeah.
So they're already having like 5-figure months, and now they want to break through, and they just don't know how.
Yeah.
And most of the time when I actually sit down with them, that's the point. They're
Yeah.
saying, is this really me, or is this the person someone told me I should be? Right?
Absolutely.
Tell me a
Yeah.
little bit more about that conversation. I think there's a lot of rain on your side. I know it's
It
raining.
is. It's storming actually, so you're hearing the light side of everything. The light side of everything,
Well, thank
unfortunately.
God we
But
still
yeah.
have internet.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Yes, Fatima, that played. It's a major change for me, and that is why when I did the archetypes assessment, it was such a huge excitement for me because you know the environments, it just didn't wasn't conducive to who I wanted to be. It wasn't shaping me into the person I wanted to be, and I think a lot of doubt comes in, and you try and make the best decisions you can, and then you always have this voice: is this me? Is this who I want to be? A lot of questions come up, and you always just doing something just to keep moving, but not knowing if you're moving in the right direction, and always questioning yourself. And I think that when the archetypes excites you because it gives you that voice back.
Hmm.
It gives you that validation that you are doing something right, that you are on the right track.
Yeah. Now, you were the director of sales inside of Million Stars Academy, and you work
Yeah.
directly with our amazing coaches.
Yes.
And share with us a little bit of the shifts that happen when a person, a woman inside of the academy is, feeling like a fraud. She's
Yeah.
feeling like a bit of an imposter. And she comes into the academy with those feelings, and she's scrolling on Instagram and scrolling and having all this comparisonitis,
Hmm.
and then copying other people's things because she doesn't know her real voice. And then we do
Yeah.
the assessment with her. What changes happen?
Well, you literally see the change in the person in front of you when they're doing that assessment, and because I relate so much to that, comparing yourself to other people and always thinking that you should be on that same level. So when you do this assessment and you look at the results, and when you look at them seeing this result, it's like that light bulb moment. It's like, oh my gosh, I can be who I am and still make that same difference, still have that same success by being true to myself first. And that's what I see happening when they do the assessment. And it takes me really back to that very first day when I did that assessment, because I felt that way, and I know that whoever goes through that assessment, that it's like that exciting feeling for me to see that light bulb moment, that everything light up in their eyes when they go through that assessment and read the cards and see the results for themselves. It's amazing.
It makes such a difference.
It
And
absolutely
and they
does. Yeah.
show up differently on video, and then
Yeah.
their content is different. And
Yeah.
it's just a beautiful thing to see this magical
Yes.
transformation. This woman who was afraid of showing up, this woman who was afraid of putting herself out there and comparing herself, and suddenly
Yes.
now we give her a system
Yeah.
and say, here's how you attract clients, this is what you
Yes.
say, this is your message. And is the process us just telling her who she should be, or through the assessment she figures it out?
Definitely through the assessment she figures it out, because this, it's such a thorough assessment that it gives you different ways of answering these questions and of really figuring out who you are. So just answering that questions alone, even before you get to the result, it definitely brings it stirs up something in your mind that you didn't even think about, or you didn't think that it mattered in how you were showing up. So going through that assessment alone, you already start realizing a lot of new things that you didn't even pay attention to. And that's it's all part of the journey. So that's just the cherry. The results is just the cherry, I think, because you're already getting that excitement by discovering and coming up with all those new things and realizations and really finding out your true self in the assessment alone.
So is everybody inside of the academy the same archetype?
No, not at all. Not at all. We've got all kinds, and that's the amazing part. That's the amazing part. We've got all kinds of every single type of archetype we have in there, and it's amazing to understand and see all of this work together, and see how when you know who they are, you quickly like, okay, that makes sense that that person is a hero. That makes sense that that person is an innocent, and it just like putting that two together, it gives you a lot of understanding of the next person, and definitely for yourself, for myself, I understood myself better, and I knew it clears up a lot of things for you, how you relate to people, how people relate to you. And it's interesting to see these archetypes come to life in our calls, and see all the different types of archetypes there.
Yeah, there's an archetype of the jester.
Yeah.
And do you remember going to school and there was always that one person or a
Yeah.
cousin that had to make jokes everywhere and be the
Yes.
center of attention? Do you have one of those? Because I know I
Yes.
do.
I think each family has one of those, Fatima. You can't get away from that, and not even just in the family, in your circle. You're gonna have the
There's
jester,
one
and
crackpot, man. There's one there,
absolutely,
right? So we all have that archetype where we
absolutely,
can relate to that jester,
yes, absolutely,
right? They want to
absolutely,
crack jokes, right?
yes.
What about when you were going to school, or a cousin or a neighbor? Who can you say that somebody was a rebel? They never
Oh
wanted to
wow.
follow the rules. They wanted to get in trouble. They would be outlawed. Can you think of someone like that?
Oh my gosh, I absolutely can. Takes me back to my high school days. This boy in my class, he was the complete rebel, complete rebel, and he would skip classes, and he would take the most unbelievable challenges. And I remember one day he decided he was going to skip class, but he was going to leave the school grounds completely. And he got caught because he hurt himself while trying to get to but that didn't stop him from ever
No,
trying again. I
no,
mean,
no,
he did.
no.
And
He
he
was
that was just
determined to break the rules.
he was determined.
Right?
It was
These
hilarious, but
archetypes
yeah.
are things we've seen, from the
Yes.
time we were born. The very,
Yes.
very first archetype that we ever come across is the caregiver, like our
Yes.
mom, our dad, our parents,
Yes.
right? They want
Yes.
to look after us, they want to protect us, they want to make sure we're safe.
Yeah,
And yeah,
absolutely.
and so, people understand that when you talk about the mother archetype, the
Mhm.
caregiver, right? Or the
Yeah.
jester, the crackpot, the one that cracks jokes, or the rebel. So I want to get
Yeah.
into your archetypes, because my kids, we're a big Marvel movie
Yeah.
family, and we love Star Wars, and we love,
Yes.
and so the hero is such a big thing, like Wonder Woman or Captain
Yes.
America, Iron Man, right? All of these heroes.
Yes.
And a famous personality is Nelson Mandela.
Yeah.
You share hero brand with him, right?
Yes.
And
Yes.
so, the strength of a hero, brave. I'm reading from the cards right now.
Oh,
I'm going
yeah.
to show the
Yes.
cards here. So we've got the hero, and I've also got Sheyaam's other card here, which is innocent,
Yes.
right? So at the front of this card is her strengths and famous personalities, brands, your brand message, greatest fear, at their worst. And then when you turn the card around on behind it, we show you the organizational structure. What is the
Mhm.
best way to run your corporation, create teams, and delegate as your unique brand? Then we talk about branding strategy, brand personality. Everything is included, so you never have to second guess.
Yeah.
Or, you know what I love to say, Sheyaam, is all the vanilla goes away from your marketing, right?
Absolutely, absolutely, and especially what I love about the cards, is even the color palette. Even that they make it, it's that simple. I was always drawn to those colors of the
Yeah,
hero,
and here you
and
go. That's the
and
hero. Whoops, let me
yeah,
just move it here. And then the innocent is right here. Yeah.
yeah.
We really, you were always drawn to that? That is
I
so
was
cool.
I was always drawn to that colors, and but when someone asked me what is your favorite color, I would never say it was those colors, but for some reason I would
God.
always be drawn to that colors. And
You're
so
wearing
when
a color right now.
exactly, exactly. And I did that completely, not even thinking about this is how I'm going to
Unconsciously.
dress. Yeah, I completely did it unconsciously. And that's what always happened with these colors. It's always been in my mind, it's always been in my space. But I never put that together that this was the colors that was showing who I was, who I truly was. So
It's
that's what
almost like,
blows you away.
yeah, what I'm hearing you say is that this gave you that validation. This gave you that
Yes.
permission to be like, it's okay for me
Yes.
to be me, right? Is that
Absolutely.
what happened to you?
Absolutely, because of my experiences in the past, being in that environment, I doubted myself. I completely doubted everything, even the simplest thing, Fatima. I would doubt and I would second guess, and that is why when I did the archetypes assessment, it all just cleared up for me, and it made me feel excited because you know this is who I am. What's on the cards? This is who I am, and now I was getting this validation that you are true to yourself, that I was being true to myself and not just taking on someone else's idea of who I should be.
Yeah, yeah. And let me ask you something. I don't believe in fortune telling or going to
Yeah.
a psychic. Is
Yes.
this fortune telling? Is this like a psychic or a horoscope or a zodiac or predicting your future? Is that what this is?
Not at all. Not at all. This is definitely not any of those. And I myself don't believe in any of those. So, this is me. This is me who I always was. I'm just seeing this on the card now. I'm
Yeah.
just reading it on the cards and it's just being confirmed that this is who I am. But it's definitely not telling my fortune or it's the guide now that I'm going to base my life on, because now I just go on the way I am because this is how I've always been.
Yeah, yeah. This is based on your personality,
Yeah.
your behavior, why you do the things you do, why you have done the things you've done.
Yes.
And the best part is like, Carl Jung says to know yourself is to know others,
Yeah.
right? And this is based
Absolutely.
on his work. But I also, for me, it really changed how I showed up as a mom, as
Yes.
a mother. Like, I'm a ruler, and
Yeah.
one of my weaknesses is I can be downright bossy. Okay? Bossy and critical. And I
Yeah.
had to really like tone my volume down and understand that, ask myself, where's the compassion? Where's the kindness? And it really like switched inside of me because I said, if I continue to do it this way, what kind of children am I raising? Let's talk
Absolutely.
about a little bit about the weaknesses because this is something nobody wants to talk about.
No.
No, let's talk about the weakness of the hero. You are the principal archetype is hero,
Yes.
and I'm going
Hmm.
to read you at your
Oh
worst.
gosh.
Okay?
Okay.
So on the card it says arrogant, always needing another battle to fight. Let's get the sword
Gosh.
out. Conceited, cruel, brutal,
Oh
combative,
wow.
aggressive, ruthless, hostile, and quitting. Okay, the worst
Yeah.
thing a hero can do is quit.
Gosh.
So when
Yeah.
you read that, and obviously, like nobody wants to go and say, this is me at my worst, because we want
Yes.
to show up at our best. But
Yes.
tell us how it helped you as a mom, as a CEO, as a wife, as a business owner, as a sister, knowing like, oh my God, here it is, it's on paper, and it's looking right me at the face here.
You're absolutely right, Fatima. No one wants to read that and admit that but I definitely, when I saw that, and not all of it, but when I saw that, there's definitely a few I can relate to, and I can tell you, I've seen some of that personalities come
Yeah.
through. And what this card has done is it made me become more aware of that.
Mm.
And it made me, say that, okay, I don't want to go down this path, so I'm going to stop right there, and I want to go back to the other side, and at my best, be my best, instead of going down this path. So that definitely made a difference for me. And even as a parent, because I I am a hero, so I'm going to try and do a lot for everyone, but I'm also going to expect too much of them, because if I'm going to go out of my way and do everything for you, then I didn't before think that that person has a personality of their own. Because as the hero, I was trying to see my way as well. So that's definitely at the
That's
worst,
such great noticing, though. That's such
Yeah.
great noticing because here's the thing. If you look at the predictable future, which means if I continue
Yeah.
this behavior, what's the long-term effects? There's a cost.
Yes.
You hurt your
Yeah.
children, you hurt your family,
Absolutely.
you hurt everyone
Absolutely.
around you, right? And
Yes.
so for us, it's like, I love what you said. It's the awareness. And
Yeah.
now I can choose. It's either I can go to the worst or I can be like, where am I at my best? My strengths,
Absolutely.
and I can work on those things. I mean, so
Yeah.
awesome. You,
Yeah.
as a hero, at your best, you are brave, you're determined, you're honorable, skillful, focused, you have mastery, you have grit. Do you know grit is actually one of the top 5 categories of distinctions that make successful people be successful?
Yes. Yes.
Right? There's
That's
like all these
awesome.
TED
Yeah.
Talks around that on
Yeah.
grit, like the willingness to be in a situation where you never give up hope and you keep
Yeah.
on going, even if the evidence doesn't show.
Yes.
You know, it's like planting seeds, and then every day I must go check the seeds to see if they're growing,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
and
No.
you have
Absolutely.
that. You have that grit to say, I
Yeah.
will stay the course.
Yeah. Absolutely. And I am going to admit that this wasn't how I was before. Absolutely not. And when I did, and we did this archetypes, this assessment right at the beginning. Sorry. And so this definitely opened a
So, did it
lot
give
of,
you permission to be authentically you? Is that what I'm hearing?
yes, yes, absolutely. Absolutely. It definitely gave me that permission to breathe out, almost, because I was holding my breath, because
Oh,
I thought,
exhale. Oh my God,
yeah,
I just love that analogy.
exactly, exactly. So, and even with, I think of, with the kids as well, is that when I first did this, before I did this, I wanted to mold them the way I was, subconsciously sometimes, but
Yeah, we
also,
all do that.
I wanted them to have that strength and that determination, and be headstrong and be confident. And when I did this assessment, and when I came across archetypes, I realized, like I said, that we all have different, and I can't enforce my archetype on my kids, because
Mm.
they are, each one of them are different archetypes as well. So I'm always learning to accept that, we are all different, and we should all be just, I should understand where they're coming from as well when I'm trying to teach them something.
Yeah, you got the same mom, the same dad, and all 4
Yeah.
came out different.
Oh, for how much different. Absolutely.
And it's so beautiful,
Yeah, it
right? It's
is. It
so
is.
beautiful to know that they're so different. I'm going to
Yeah.
go to your innocent, which is your dominant archetype. Now,
Yeah.
a lot of people will ask us, why do you have 2? Right? And the way I like to describe it is your principle is the
Yeah.
outfit. So if you had like 5 women or 10 women and we gave every single person the same outfit to wear, say everyone was a hero brand,
Yes.
the dominant one is your accessories.
Yes.
Everyone is going to accessorize their outfit differently, whether it's a scarf, a brooch, earrings,
Yes.
a handbag, shoes, right? So it gives you that richness and the depth to your own personality and the personality of the clients you want to attract and the clients you want to work with. And
Yeah.
so for you, your innocent
Innocent.
brand is at your best. You are a believer. You are a child. Like you have this curiosity, this excitement, optimistic. You're straightforward. You have a
Mm-hmm.
big, giant heart. right? All of
Yeah.
this, like your brand voice is honest, humble, authentic, decent. And let's talk about like greatest fears of the innocent, because each one of the cards also has
Yeah.
greatest fear. The innocent is a greatest fear
Wow.
is wrongly punished for something you didn't do,
Yep.
right? Or grief or negativity or heartbreak. And so it's so beautiful to be able to say, so I want to read types of visuals so the ladies watching this can really get a sense of it. So, types of visuals, your audience is looking for creative inspiration. Show off your playfulness, your positive attitude, bright, lively,
Yes.
sunny images, right? It's so beautiful. And tell me when you listen to this, what comes up for you?
I feel like, with the two archetypes, I feel like this is my softening side.
Yes,
The
yes. The
hero being
hero
the
is the
firm one,
slayer.
and then the innocent kind of just softens me up. It, like, makes me just better at who I am really authentically. And it's amazing when you read both of these cards, and that how it fits into each other. If you just look at yourself, and how you really are, how these two really fit into each other, and it just confirms that you are authentically who you are, if that is how it works.
Yeah,
And with the greatest fear and everything, it just clears up a lot, and it just gives me that validation that, okay, I've got this. I don't have to change who I am. I can go on being who I am right
yeah.
now, because
You
yeah,
can be the hero and the innocent at the
I
same
can be both.
time, right?
Absolutely.
Because we are all that dichotomy. We've got good and evil in us,
Yes.
we've got good and bad, we've got the hero, the innocent, and
Yeah.
it all works.
It all works. It all
It
works. Yeah.
all works to be able to say, I can be authentically who I am. I want to read the organizational structure of the hero. So you are your principal hero.
Yes.
And organizational structure is there's a fair amount of self-sacrifice in hero organizations for the betterment of the larger whole. Hero organizations usually have cause and be able to enlist the employees. So you are always fighting for a cause. You are like working for the underdog. You want to
Yeah.
help women everywhere, right? And
Yes.
you value actions and you reward so when you structure your company and it's all sitting right there. Hero
Yes.
brands promise triumph, bold, they're risky, they encourage the audience to push themselves. I mean, it's like everything we have is right here on these cards.
Absolutely. And it's everything that I always have been. When I look back, I didn't know that this was what who I really was. But when I look back, this is what I was trying always to do. Even in the workplace, I was trying always to stand up, and or the person who was being bullied, or I was trying to give them some
Wow.
motivation, to get them to
Wow.
stand up for themselves. Not knowing, then reading the archetypes, I'm like, oh my gosh, this explains such a lot. This explains such a lot of who I always have been. So it works in such a lot of different scenarios. If you look at it, if you really look at your own circumstances, it just works everywhere, both in your business, in your life, in your, as a mother, as a sister, as a yeah, wherever you are, wherever you find yourself,
Yeah,
in whatever
whatever role you're
scenario you find
playing.
this. Yeah, it fits.
Absolutely.
It fits.
Now ladies, if you're interested or you're curious and you want to know more about the behavior personality marketing using archetypes, let us know. You can comment below. You can put hashtag speak with Fatima. My team and I have opened up a few slots in the next few days, and we'll get on a phone call with you and really get into, what it's all about, how you can get more information. We have a training on everything on archetypes. It's in the comments below. So you can go and click that link and get more information on all 12, what they stand for, because I go through like each one of them as I'm reading it. So you pretty much have a choice. You can get onto the call and ask us questions about it. Now, Sheyaam, I know you have a really fantastic story that you shared a couple of weeks ago about that WhatsApp guy, right?
Yes.
And
Yes.
share with us that story, and then we're going to put it together and really see why do you particularly love that story
Yes.
so much. So share with us a story about the WhatsApp guy.
So yes, the actual founder of WhatsApp was a guy from the Ukraine called Yan. Kum. I'm not sure if I'm
Are you messing
pronouncing
up his
it.
name?
I'm completely messing up the name. I'm so sorry. But yes, he was. He was a very poor person. Lived in poor surroundings. Where they didn't even have running water and things like that. And he came and he into this to Silicon Valley to find something better for himself because he had a dream. And he applied for, he knew he wanted to be in the Silicon Valley area, and that's what he wanted to do. He liked apps and things like that, so he applied for a position at a lot of places, and Facebook being one of them. Unfortunately, in the last round of interviews, he was, they said to him, I'm sorry, you don't qualify for this position, and he was turned down. And he went back and he then created the WhatsApp app that we know today. And I mean, everybody knows WhatsApp. And the funny part was that he came back to Silicon Valley with his app, and he eventually sold it to Facebook for billions of rands. And
Dollars.
billions of dollars, sorry, South Africa, mindset. But billions of dollars. And to me, that was so amazing. And I look at him as a hero because he knew what his dream was, and nobody was going to stand in his way of getting what he wanted. Yeah, he was turned down by Facebook. He comes right back and sells an app, and he makes billions of dollars from Facebook, the company who turned him away. So that
You
to
know
me is just such
what
an
I did
inspirational
right
story.
now? What I did right now is I actually just Googled how much did Facebook pay for the WhatsApp app.
Yes.
Okay. And the very first thing that comes up is here it is. When Facebook announced its plan to acquire WhatsApp in February of 2014, WhatsApp founders attached a purchase price of 16 billion.
Billion, yes.
4 billion in cash. 4 billion in cash. Like
Cash.
how many suitcases is 4 billion in cash?
Wow.
And 12 billion remaining in Facebook shares.
Yes.
The price tag is dwarfed by the actual price paid, 21.8
Wow.
billion.
Wow.
Or if you think about it as users, Facebook paid $55 per user. This is in
Wow.
2014.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
you love that story, right?
I
You
do.
absolutely love that story. And why do you think you love that story so much? Because we all love stories.
Yeah.
What
But I think
archetype is
yeah,
he?
he's the hero, and that
That's
is why
right.
it resonated with me, and I love the story so much because it's me.
It's you.
It's
And
my
and
archetype.
yeah, you look at him as an underdog. He
Yes.
came from
Yes.
no running water, right? I didn't even know the story before you shared
Yeah.
it with me.
Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
here he goes, trying, going to Silicon Valley, getting
Yeah.
turned down, applying. Nobody's hiring this dude. Poor chap. Okay. So he
Yeah.
goes back to wherever he comes from and he creates this WhatsApp.
Yeah.
And WhatsApp took off.
Yeah.
Now, we don't know all the other things he did in between. We don't know all the
Exactly.
other apps he created. Like, we look at people and we think, oh my God, she's an overnight success. Nobody knows the story of where the guy came from and his
Yes.
struggle and his
Yes.
pain and his overcoming and his grit
Yes.
and his just
Absolutely.
never giving up attitude.
Absolutely.
And then Facebook, who didn't hire him, became a partner.
Yeah.
And suddenly
Yeah.
they buy this thing from him, right?
Yeah, no, absolutely. And it reminds me of so many. I mean, like you said, with the Avengers, it just reminds you of so many. When you look at these heroes, where they come from, they weren't born, a lot of them weren't born this way, but they eventually developed skills as they were growing up and, came into that role. And that's why for me, it's like being the hero is coming from the bottom, being the underdog, and knowing that there's something deep inside of you that's you have that burning desire to be somebody, to be successful. You're determined to be a success for yourself, and getting to 16 billion dollars. I mean, really, I want that as well.
Yeah, there is no ceiling.
No ceiling.
There's no
Absolutely.
ceiling. There's only possibility and
Yes.
potential,
Yes.
right? Creating a new future. And the behavioral personality marketing helps you to get there, to
Yes.
feel validated in who you have been, to look at and say, oh my God, now I know why I love those characters. I know
Yes.
why I like
Absolutely.
Yoda, or maybe I like the jester, or I
Yes.
like the funny guy, or I like, the Harley Davidson and I'm a rebel or an outlaw. I know my daughter is a rebel, right?
Yeah.
She's a rebel.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
one of my sons is an explorer. Like
Yes.
Mustafa, when I think he was about 17 or 18, his whole philosophy is all about um, adventure and experiences are better than stuff.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
him. That's
Absolutely.
him.
I know that. I know one
So,
like that. Yeah.
okay, you know one like that? And
Yeah.
he
My
was
my
17 or
daughter.
18 in his
Mm.
last year of high school. And in Canada, we have a train that goes from East Coast to West Coast. And you
Okay.
imagine Canada is like the biggest country of the world,
Yes.
right? So to travel, if you take a car and you drive from one side to another, it'll take you like 3 days
Wow.
if you don't stop and
Yes.
sleep
Yes.
or anything
Wow.
like that. Okay. On a plane from one side, say Newfoundland, Halifax, to go to British Columbia, which is from one side to the other,
Mm-hmm.
the plane ride is 7 hours.
Wow.
That's Canada.
Wow.
Okay, so you can imagine this
Yeah.
country we live in.
Yes.
And
Yes.
we have a railroad called the Via Rail.
Yes.
And Via Rail that summer was doing this really special deal. And the special deal was they were selling an unlimited, taking the train, unlimited travel for, I think it was $200.
Wow. Awesome.
Okay. But they only had 200 tickets.
Oh.
And they were going to put it on sale at like 3 o'clock in the morning. Okay, you can imagine all of these people. So anyone in the world could buy a
Okay.
Via Rail
Okay.
ticket. It was open to anyone in the world to buy a Via Rail. 200 tickets were going, and Mustafa woke up and he got it.
Awesome. Obviously.
He got it, and
Oh my gosh.
he saw every part of Canada. He traveled till today. He still talks to the people that he met from Germany, from
Wow.
Australia, from France, because they met in hostels, and there he was. He
Yeah.
even jumped off the mountain in Jasper. So,
Oh wow.
he's that guy,
Yeah, that's
right?
awesome.
He's also
Yeah.
the hero because he wants to do things for the underdog. He built a park
Yes.
for Tariq, a
Yes.
special needs park. So I see these characters, right, in my
Mm.
family, and it's fun. I see the characters in the clients that we attract, and
Yes.
it's so fun and interesting to
Yeah.
see this unraveling in front of us.
Yeah. No, absolutely. And even, I when I did this assessment with my clients as well, when you look at that and you like just see the realization of these people when they go through this and that acceptance and when I look at my kids as well, even, I see I've got a rebel as well. I've got explorers as well. And I remember my youngest one when she was just 1 year old. She loves bugs. She loves exploring. She loves animals of every kind. And I would find her outside laying on her stomach looking for bugs on the floor. And this is at one. She absolutely fearless child would pick up almost any bug or anything that she sees crawling around. She's not going to, there's no fear there. She'll pick it up and she'll like, okay, what
Play
does
with
this
it.
do? Yeah, what does this do?
Yeah,
And I love that, and it makes a lot of sense because she's still like that. She's 10 and she's still like that. I still see the same traits. So this archetypes, when you look at the archetypes and you look at that norm, that circumstance, that scenario, and you're like, oh my gosh, you really are your authentic self all along. You just don't pay attention to it,
yeah,
you
yeah.
know?
Because I think what happens is as we go through school and we, meet people along the way, we get influenced by
Yes.
them, and we want
Yes.
to be people pleasing. And
Yeah.
when someone says you want to go to the movie, oh, what do you want to see? All of that
Yes.
silliness
Yeah.
happens. And then as time moves along, we forget who
Yes.
we really are.
Absolutely.
And the behavior personality marketing brings out your true self, who
Yes.
you really are, how you were made, what excites you, what drives you, what brings that aliveness. And then we have this renewed excitement in our business, this
Yes.
renewed energy, this renewed commitment to go change the world, to help our
Yes.
clients, to make a difference. I see it every day, Sheyaam, and
Yes.
it just gives me the best feeling.
Absolutely, absolutely. And just even the words that you use, I realized that all along before I did the assessment, I was using the wrong kind of words in expressing myself.
Right?
And this even allowed me to give me that new voice on how to express myself and how to get that client in my business that I wanted to work with, and not just accepting that okay, I need clients coming in, so I'm going to just say what I want to say and see who comes in. Now I get the client that I want to work with just by changing how I speak, the words that I use in my videos, and everything else that I do.
I love that. I love that. Oh my God, I could go on and talk
I
about this because
I
it
know.
just excites me so
It
much.
does.
So, ladies, you have a choice. You can either get off this video and just go back to the same old, or you can
Yeah.
get onto the phone call, speak to Sheyaam, speak to myself, speak to someone on my team, put down comments, comment below, speak to Fatima. I want to know more, whatever it is, so you can be fully unleashed in your
Yeah.
integrity, in your authenticity, and show up confident, show up who you really are, and have this new sense of calm, confident inside of
Yes.
you that when you are doing a video, you're doing a post, you're attracting your clients, and then you get this little edge where you're like,
Yes.
I can do this assessment with my clients, right?
Exactly. Exactly.
It
Yeah.
gives you a little edge on everything you're doing in your life. Thank you so much, Tian,
Absolutely.
for this fabulous
My
conversation.
pleasure.
Oh my God.
My
Did you
pleasure.
have
My
fun?
pleasure. I did, and I just want to, Fatima, just say, to that woman who's watching this, and you're still thinking like, should I be doing this? I actually feel like you owe this to yourself, you know,
Hmm.
because to just go through this assessment and have this as confirmation that you are the way you are, and you were meant to be that way, and accept that. I would say you really owe this to yourself to get that validation that you are the person you're meant to be.
I love that. I love that. Famous
Okay.
last words. Do this,
Famous last.
do it to yourself, and
Yes,
have that confirmation inside of you,
absolutely.
who you've always been,
Absolutely.
and the
Yeah.
brilliant, gorgeous, powerful self can be unleashed.
Yes.
And we want to know you. We want to
Yeah.
see you. We want to know who you really are. So, on that note, let's wrap up the call. I am going to speak to you real soon. Take care, everyone. Thank you, Sheyaam.
Pleasure. Bye bye, everyone.